ITZY just came back with their EP, Girls Will Be Girls, and I think this is a very interesting time for them as a group. They've had their ups and downs, even within the past year, a member going on hiatus, and their music dipping up and down in quality, and them seeming to be fading into irrelevancy in the eyes of the general public. A group that once stood for so much, a group that's known for big, bold, empowering anthems, had the opportunity to prove that they still have identity, that they still deserve to be talked about in these conversations, and they still deserve to be relevant. And every comeback, fans eagerly wait for them to prove it. The Born to Be album, unfortunately, was missing a crucial member in the equation, which led it to stumble, even though the songs were just as bold and bright and empowering in a maturer way than their previous music. It was a step in the right direction, and seemingly most of that goodwill was undone by Gold, which was in essence childish and a far stray from even the music they once made that could be seen as being childish, but in essence it was more self-aware than maybe Gold may have seemed. And so Girls Will Be Girls was a great opportunity for them to really prove themselves, to prove that they can reach the heights that they were once at, and at a particularly volatile stage in their career. But the song just misses the mark in my opinion. A group that's known for their big and bright choruses, full of lyrics and heart and intensity, the chorus of Girls Will Be Girls seems drier, more dull, more repetitive, and lacks the nuance, the in-depthness, and the sort of textures that their previous title tracks might have had. The verses are energetic, the girls are confident, they sound empowered, but even that pre-chorus with subtle war cries leads up to a chorus that just drops the ball. It seems flat and dull, and it brings the tempo of the song to a screeching halt, with Girls Will Be Girls repeating multiple times, allowing no room for textures or flavors to take into effect, to take the song to the next level, to really give the listener a reward for all the build-up. As opposed to songs in the past, like Untouchable, which had a bit of an anti-drop in the chorus, but it would always lead to a big blast of energy, something to re-energize the song, something to keep us interested, to keep us listening. But this song, it kind of, I would describe it as a slope where it builds up, but then it has a massive steep drop, and the song never really seems to recover from it. Even the second verse builds up to a chorus that could have been greater than the first one, but that drops into a anticlimactic dance break, which then leads into the second chorus closing out the song without leaving the listener satisfied, leaving the listener wanting more, wanting the potential of this song to be reached fully, which it doesn't, unfortunately. While the themes of the songs may lend credence to the fact that the chorus is so repetitive and plain, with them simply saying, girls will be girls and they don't need to be anything else for anyone else, them following the identity they have as a group and the themes they want to show through their music. But in this case, I think it just leaves us unsatisfied, and it's done in a way that doesn't use the full potential of the song and the concept of this song as a whole, and that's where it really misses the mark. There is something special here, there is a story worth telling, but this isn't how it's meant to be told. Even the music video coincidentally matching the song with a lack of set changes, interesting set pieces, with most of it taking place in the same area, it just makes all of the scenes blend into one. Just like how the song, the chorus to the verses, there's no change in beats, instrumentals, genres, no switch ups, just leaving the song to be feel a bit flat and unsatisfying as a whole. And yet again, we have another example of ITZY clearly choosing the wrong song to be the title track of the album. While Girls Will Be Girls is a good name encapsulating the themes for this EP, Kiss and Tell would have been a much better candidate for the title track of this era. A song that taps into the electric club pop that ITZY was so well known for in their early days. A sound that is prevalent in albums like It's Me and Checkmate, sounds that were ahead of their time. Little did ITZY know that this sound would go on to become so popular after the global domination of the Brat era of Charlie XCX and influencing K-pop in songs like Crazy as well. This was the perfect time to drop a song like Kiss and Tell to show people that this is a style that suits ITZY, that ITZY does well, so you should keep your eye on them. A sound that they were one of the first to do in K-pop and to do well, even getting a cosign from Sophie. This is a sound and a style that ITZY feels very comfortable in, ITZY feels very natural in, and that their voices shine and their personalities really shine through the music. This song is an excellent example of that. You can see each member's characteristics in their voices, in the way they sing, in the way they present themselves. This would have been a perfect song to show who ITZY is today. They're not a group who's trying to make the next huge thing or trying to really establish themselves. They've been established. They're just a group who makes very solid, energetic, empowering music. That's what ITZY is as a group right now, and that's what their legacy will be, and this would have been a perfect song to show that, which puzzles me because in a desperate attempt now, they are trying to push it as a second single, but the damage has been done, and I think it's a real travesty seeing that Kiss and Tell will never really get the flowers it deserves or the time in the sun that it deserves, and that could have potentially brought ITZY back into the conversation, especially with the sound being very trendy right now and them pulling off such a effortless and great version of it. Then we have Lock and Loaded, a song that plays with a lot of different genres. It starts off with some Arabian sampling we've seen in lots of other songs with a similar cadence to Hypnosis by IVE, you could say. And then it slowly transitions into a pop rock song with an electric guitar solo at the end of the song. And I think this is a great and solid B-side. I think they sound pretty good on the song. The electric guitar is a great touch. The chorus is great and catchy, and it's a very solid B-side. Then we have Promise, which I'm a bit confused isn't at the end of the album, but in the middle, but it's one of their better ballads. I would say it's a better execution of a song like Domino, which in my opinion was a bit unnatural for the group. But they all sound great here. This is a really solid ballad, which could have been left off the album, but typically K-pop albums have a ballad, and this fits fine. And then we have Walk, which is a very chic, short and sweet song, which plays off of the whiplash effect, I call it nowadays, which is many songs trying to give the effect of Whiplash by aespa. And it's a solid song. They sound really great. It takes inspiration from the same things that a song like Kiss and Tell does. It's very clubby, and the members just really know their way around a song like this. They feel very in their element, and they feel natural, and they just knock it out of the park every time, which makes it even more confusing that they don't release more songs like this. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the album. I think it's a solid album, and I think ITZY has so much more potential than JYPC's right now. I think due to their recent misses in terms of commercial success, JYP has thought maybe they could just turn them into maybe a legacy act, an act that can just tour into the ground. Maybe they don't need to put that much effort into it anymore. But I genuinely think there's so much untapped potential with the girls, with their sound, with their personas. I think the star quality there is something unseen and something that really needs to be taken advantage of, and I just hope that they recognize that soon and we see their career turn around.